Reporting of 911 calls even show residents are reporting that the migrants are walking off with the town's geese. They take in the geese. You know where the geese are? In the park, in the lake. And even walking off with their pets. My dog's been taken. My dog's been stolen. This can only happen. These people are the worst.
What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D. Hey, thanks for supporting my page. The page is growing. It's growing fast. So keep on liking, sharing, subscribing. I really do appreciate you guys. So that was Donald Trump doubling down on his racism towards Haitian migrants. And this is what he does when he's in front of one of his crowds. He does this, he gets unhinged, he says a bunch of things that make no sense, that aren't true, because he knows this crowd doesn't care. They're going to applaud anything he says. He says they're stealing the geese, yay! They're stealing the dogs, yay! I didn't poop my pants, yay! It doesn't matter what he says, they're going to applaud him. But it's funny, he sits down in interviews with Fox News hosts, and they literally try to assist him in ridding himself of these unfounded BS stories. So they really try to walk him through the process of backing away from saying these types of things. So on one hand, at the rally, he's unhinged. But then he goes and has these interviews and he tries to sort of distance himself, but he doesn't want to completely say he was wrong. So it ends up being this interaction that almost comes off as like an attack when really the journalists are trying to help him. Make no mistake about it. Anytime Donald Trump goes to speak to any journalist, they've already talked to them and said, here are the questions you can ask. Here's how you ask them. Don't ask follow-up questions. Whatever he says, that's what goes. And so he sits down with Howard Kurtz on Fox News, and he's literally trying to coach him. Because, you see, what I think Fox News and a lot of these hosts have realized is that Trump is in an echo chamber. And he thinks because all these people are applauding him, that is the opinion of the United States. And it's not. You see, they realize he needs to appeal to more independent voters. And he knows, and they know, that independent voters don't like the things he's saying. So he goes to the rallies and he's in these echo chambers and they just cheer, cheer, cheer. Then he goes and sits down in these interviews and they try to coach him to get away from it. Here's how one interaction went with Howard Kurtz.
Famous line about Springfield, Ohio. And I take your point. 15 to 20,000 legal Haitian immigrants settling in that area causes a lot of friction. But when you said, and you know it's gone viral there, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. You say you're just reporting what had been said. But why not say now, well, look, that turned out not to be true.
I don't know if
Here's
it's not true. I don't know if it's true or not true. I read
Eating
something.
the pets, you don't know if it's true or not true?
No.
It's been debunked by local officials.
What about the geese? What about the geese? What happened there? They were all missing.
There was one guy with two geese.
Howie, I have no idea. I said something. The big problem is that you can't put 30,000 people into a 50,000 person town or city and expect this city to even survive or do well. What they've done to Springfield, Ohio is very, very unfair. And I mean, there are a lot of stories. There are a lot of other stories that I've heard that are horrible stories. I haven't said it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But that's a story that was reported, and I said that. Why don't you go after the newspaper that wrote it? Don't blame me.
Well, I think it's been debunked by local officials.
I don't think it's been debunked at all. I think nobody talks about it except you.
I mean, what the actual hell? At the end of it, you can tell he's bothered, right? He's offended. So he says the only person talking about it is you. No, we've seen countless videos of you talking about it at your rallies. The reason why you do that, again, is because you're being applauded. Howard Kurtz is literally trying to help Donald Trump. He is trying to coach Donald Trump, and it comes off as a confrontation, because everything with Donald Trump, if you try to fact check him, that's a confrontation. And so a presidential candidate and a vice presidential candidate should not be going out and repeating crazy stories, supposedly, allegedly, because let's be clear here. They never heard any of these stories. But their response, their defense of themselves is that, well, people were saying it. I don't know if it's true, but people were saying it, and I'm just reporting. You're not a reporter. You're a presidential candidate. J.D. Vance is not a reporter. He's a vice presidential candidate. You guys are politicians. If you hear any conspiracy, do you just go out there and say it? Of course you don't. And again, they never heard these things, but these are the things they're saying because their supporters actually believe it. And what's funny is Howard Kurtz is now getting hate from people on the right. And they have, the craziest part about this is their hate is that fact-checking is propaganda. I'm not kidding you. I'm going to show you guys a couple of the tweets that have been put out there. It's mostly them saying, oh, Howard Kurtz is fact-checking now. Fact-checking is propaganda. You're done, Howard Kurtz. I'm never going to watch you again. Fact-checking is propaganda. So someone tells a lie to your face. You call them on the lie. You're a propagandist. This is how sad these people are. This is how much of a cult this is. Nothing Donald Trump can do is wrong to them. Nothing. And again, this is why I say Fox News, RSBN, OAN, Newsmax, all the hosts on those shows are trying to coach Donald Trump because they realize he's in these echo chambers. He thinks these crowds, represent America. They don't. They represent the fringe of the people who support him. And that's a big part of the reason why he's behind in the polls. He only speaks to journalists who agree with him. He only stands in front of crowds who agree with him. They cheer him on. He thinks that's representative of the United States of America, and it isn't. On the other hand, Kamala Harris has gone to Fox News. She goes around, speaks to other people who disagree with her because she realizes she has to appeal to a broader base. I can't stress this enough. This election is way too close. It's way too close. We got to vote. There are days left. If you have your ballot and it's sitting at home, fill it out, send it in. If you're going to go to the polls on November 5th, make sure you get there. Fill up your car with other people. This is going to be one of the biggest elections ever. I think it's going to be one of the most voted in elections ever because there are a lot of people who understand the gravity of this election. Get out and vote, do your part, and let's get Kamala Harris over the finish line. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.